Okay, hey, welcome to another episode of On Time Watch Reviews. This is actually an abbreviated version of my typical on the wrist from off the cuff format. So today we have a follow-up for you. I originally previewed this watch as a pre-production prototype, and now I am happy to kind of give you the full review in terms of the production model, and this is my personal watch. Now, a little bit about the brand. Monta was founded back in 2015. They are Swiss-made, and they're pretty much a Microbrand startup with their eye on that entry-level luxury market. This particular type of watch, if I were to categorize it, I'd call it an everyday watch. Some key common characteristics and design. When you're looking for something you wear every day, of course, you're really just going to want that versatile blend of sporty and dressy attributes. And yeah, I think they really nail it with this particular piece. This is, of course, the Monta Noble in the Opalin Silver dial. So it's a very pale silver, which renders quite white on film or in person. So with that said, let's actually zoom the camera out, get this piece in hand, and take a closer look. All right, guys, as you can see, wow. Absolutely gorgeous. This is actually from the 2-watch roll that there was a promotion that these were being supplied with for basically their winter promo. When this was available, I was able to secure it on pre-order for $1,600, but the now retail price on these is $1,760. I still think it's definitely well worth it. Of course, the Noble is also available in a Degrade Blue Sunray dial as well. I chose the Opalin Silver because it has that kind of classic white dial thanks to that beautiful pale tone of silver. It just renders visually white in pretty much most to all situations. And I think it's just really clean and you know, ultimately more versatile, which I can definitely enjoy. Now, this does have a 38.5 millimeter diameter. It is only 9.7 millimeters thick. It has a 47 millimeter lug to lug, and it is, of course, fully brushed and with very nice high polish bevels and accents all over it there. And yeah, super finely done. This crystal is flat. It does have an inner AR coating, and yeah, pretty gorgeous. About 7 layers of inner AR, so it really negotiates those reflections really well from that standpoint. You do get, of course, the movement inside is the Monta Caliber M22, which essentially means it's the SW300 or the ETA 2892 depending on availability. But with that, you're going to get, of course, that 4 hertz sweep, 42-hour power reserve, and then it's regulated in-house plus or minus 5 seconds per day. And the case back, which will pop off this here so you can get a closer look. The case back is nice display style case back, so you can see that inside of here we actually do have the SW300, so really beautifully done. Man, I mean, it's tough because even on the underside, this thing is quite a looker. So in terms of the dial, you do get, of course, that semi-matte kind of pale silver dial there, fully applied indices, date at 6 o'clock, which is fully framed. You do have also the polished sword hands, which are rhodium plated, and you do get BGW9 Swiss Super Luminova, all packing within a package that gives you 150 meters of water resistance or 500 feet. So with that said, let's actually get this piece on wrist and see how it wears. All right, as you can see on my 7¼ inch wrist, this thing wears just beautifully. Super flat on the wrist. Look at that. Won't have any issues sliding underneath a cuff. You can see the way that the dial itself holds light at different angles. It definitely has a lot of shifts within color change. Nothing so dramatic like a sunray dial, but definitely still there's a certain pearlescence, I'd say, to the finish where it just captures and holds light in really interesting ways. You can see this bracelet does have a 20 millimeter lug width that does taper down, which is really beautiful there. It does have a nicely done solid flip lock clasp. Everything is held in by screws. You can see everything also is pretty proprietary. There's nothing that came out of a catalog in terms of this piece here. You know, proprietary little system there that closes it. It seals with this little puck. Also, you do get this really nice toolless micro adjust system where you can get about 3 clicks of adjustment there. You also do get half links. I actually, for me to get a perfect fit, I removed the half links and I just tightened it up, and it fits really beautifully. You can see it does have that epic, oof, man, just the fully articulated nature. This thing is absolute butter on the wrist, and you can see the finishing is also quite immaculate as well. But let's actually move into some Lume shots, low light transition, and closing thoughts. All right, we'll go ahead and hit the lights. As you can see, the BGW9 Lume here is glowing just beautifully, and honestly way more than you would expect for something that is this dressy. And again, it kind of gives you more of that, and that's just kind of part of the Monta formula, where it's just going to give you more than you're even asking for or than you need, because although this watch is quite dressy, it's also quite capable with 150 meters of water resistance, and then you're also getting something quite capable in terms of low light visibility. One thing I like to do in my reviews is get some Lume shots, but I also like to integrate some low light transition, because you're not always going to be out in the middle of a field enjoying direct sunlight. A lot of times you're going to be transitioning from in and outdoors, maybe walking underneath an overhang or the shadow of a tree, or maybe just spending time in your favorite vehicle. And you can see as the light transitions, kind of you're going to notice that the finishing, the texture on the dial, the color rendering there, it all shifts with the light. So I do want to give you kind of a more realistic impression of how this watch actually looks in person and in the flesh. And then you can even see with this really high contrast lighting here, which is not complimentary at all and flattering like the regular steel lighting is. You can see really the detail and the fine, the brushing there. Look how uniform the light is as it glides over that beautiful brushing there. Really, really well done. Very, very finely done. Absolutely gorgeous. So with that said, we'll go ahead and hit the lights back, and let's get into it, guys. Really, closing thoughts, comparable models. Of course, you can think of something like your Tudor Black Bay 36, but that's about $3,000, or just shy of that at $2,950. There's also the Black Bay 41, which is $3,000, and then really in terms of kind of comparable fit and finish quality, that's how high you have to go to really get something that's comparable to this level of finish. Just because what Monta have done, they've really, again, they exceed kind of what you're looking for. So while some of you might be thinking, wow, $1,700 is a lot of money to pay for a watch that doesn't really have this long lineage or anything like that in terms of heritage, really you're kind of part of that heritage and that lineage, and everybody has to start somewhere. And I gotta say, the quality of these timepieces is starting well above the pack. They didn't work their way up into luxury. They said, hey, well, our first model is going to be outstanding, and they've only kind of multiplied that ever since with every new release. So very impressed from that standpoint. For me, guys, bottom line on this one, with the Rolex Oyster Perpetual 39, that white dial being discontinued and really starting to skyrocket in price, this Monta Noble is actually pretty well poised to fill that void that's left open in terms of that perfect everyday luxury timepiece. And yeah, this is an absolutely everyday piece. It is dressy enough and versatile enough to fit into a little bit more of a business formal situation, and of course from a casual standpoint, a white dial on steel bracelet never hurt nobody in terms of something that was casual. And it's also 150 meters water resistant, so you can even have this for water sports or any type of recreational use. This thing is just going to be an absolute champ. So with that said, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked the video, please do hit like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks, guys.